And looking at the Europa League, I'd say that there are a couple teams that I view as favorites. Now, I'm not going to talk about teams from leagues that I don't know, such as the Turkish league, uh, and the Belgian league, or whatever other leagues there are, and that are as big, such as the Premier League or the Bundesliga. And I can give some thoughts regarding the Serie A. But looking at it, I'd still say, just looking at the teams and their strength and their recent form, it's got to be United, Manchester United, as well as Bayer Leverkusen, favorites for the Europa League, alongside potentially Wolves. Because Wolves, I haven't seen their form that well. I think it's gonna be a little bit of a struggle maybe because of what they're done, what they've the recent form has been. But what they can do, I really do think that Wolves still has a strong team. But looking back to the main two teams that I was talking about, Manchester United and Leverkusen. Manchester United under Fernandes and have just been, pretty solid. And I think that if they play their cards right, or if they play to what they're recently more expected to play, specifically under Fernandez and how the team's been playing, just winning just constantly, and how they finished third after being way lower on the league, I think is quite a achievement that they could carry out towards the Europa League. If they don't, I could see that. I really can see them missing that out, missing that momentum. Because let's be honest, when they were facing United versus Chelsea in the FA Cup, they just rolled over, and ultimately that was due to some the goalkeeper mistakes from David De Gea. But even with other players like Maguire or De Gea or someone in the midfield, or maybe the front three isn't as clicking, which I highly doubt them not doing in the Europa League. But if that happens, then I can see them. I won't be surprised. They've done it before. Some players from the team have just not been clicking, and ultimately that will leads them to not, scoring those goals and eventually winning a cup or a tournament and winning some key important games, such as that Manchester United versus Chelsea game. And it could be possible. But if I'm going to be honest, I do expect them to win the Europa League. I also expect Bayer Leverkusen to reach the finals. I think that is definitely something that they're capable of. Because I'm pretty certain that Kai Havertz, he's reported to leave for Chelsea, but I don't think he's going to do what Timo Werner did and opt out of the European competitions. I think that would be really disgraceful, like what Timo Werner did. But if he doesn't, I think that, which I'm pretty sure he won't, if he goes with Bayer Leverkusen and Leverkusen squad, just not even focusing on Kai Havertz specifically, but the rest of the squad is pretty good. Like, it's really solid. And unfortunately, they didn't get the top four for in the Bundesliga, with Gladbach taking it and with their form slightly dipping in the end of the season. But with Kai Havertz looking strong again than when he was earlier in the Bundesliga season, I think that we got a potential really good games ahead for Bayer Leverkusen, as well as the results that they can drive forward with Kai Havertz, such as their talisman player, before he leaves ultimately for Chelsea, which is looking most likely the case. And I think that would be really incredible. Unfortunately, I was talking about how it would be incredible if he won the German Cup before he left Bayer Leverkusen. He didn't do that. But if he could do the Europa League, I think that'd be even bigger. But still, I think those teams are the main ones. Wolves, like I said earlier, they could also be it. But, yeah. Oh, and of course, I did not want to forget this. Inter Milan. Inter Milan are in that tournament as well. And I think that it's going to be down to those three. If I'm going to be honest, looking at it more now, I'd say that I don't think Inter Milan... I think Inter Milan will reach the semifinals, but they won't reach the finals. I don't know. There's something about that team. I've seen some of the highlights, and of course that doesn't account for the entire team's performance. But I don't think that squad is fully fleshed out yet until the next season, where they're bringing in players such as like Hakimi, and I think that they have like kind of improved that squad in the January transfer window, for example, with signings such as Christian Eriksen, who's an amazing player. Hopefully, I think he's starting to get his form back in at that team. But if I don't see that team fully winning that Europa League with other teams out there such as Manchester United and Bayer Leverkusen. I don't really see it. as well as Roma. I also think that they will reach the semifinals, and I there's not another team that I can really think of that is going to be a standout team at the Europa League. Maybe Rangers or Wolfsburg, they can pull something off, but I doubt that. But just looking at those teams, I'd say Bayer Leverkusen and Manchester United in the finals, most likely in my opinion, and at least one of those teams in the finals, and then Roma and Inter Milan in the semifinals. I think that's as far as it can go. Uh, Roma, I think, can be a dark horse to win the not the Premier League, excuse me, but the Europa League. Those are my predictions, and I'm gonna be honest. I feel pretty strong about them. Just looking at the team's strengths, I think that's a solid. I think what I'm predicting is pretty solid.